Hello everyone, Luke Smith here. It is Saturday the 17th of December, a week before Christmas Eve. Let us talk about Patti Chandler, another thing that I didn't know if I did it or not, but I always check my playlist where I have all my quickie readings, and it wasn't on there, as well as the one that I want to do after this, which by the way, this will be 94 on the quickie reading playlist because I miscalculated, so I need to catch up and do episode 100 before the year is up. So Patti Chandler, in the spirit of Patti, will have his soul for dinner tonight. She will be haunted your nightmares, Mr. Larry. Chris disrespecting his deceased pet. Yeah, that's the things like he actually used his dead pet to like threaten people with some fucking reason. Patti Chandler, 17th of March 1988, born two months before I was born. There you go. To the 27th of June 2006, was Chris's childhood dog, a Beagle Spitz mix, who was put down in 2006. As can be seen in Patti's effigy below, eulogy below, I think that means. Chris reports that his birth date was 17th of March 1988. It should be noted, though, that in an email Chris sent to the Wallflower on the 28th of February 2010, he wrote that he learned what Patti's birthday was after a veterinarian determined it for him. It is doubtful that a veterinarian can determine the precise date in which a dog was born, making the date Chris reports as dubious, if it's even roughly accurate. Though Patti lived a long life for a dog. That is true. That is quite lengthy for a dog. I don't think I ever had a dog that lived that long. I think all dogs live until they're like 13, and like after that it's just bored time. As Chris tells Patti's eulogy, he picked her up as a puppy from a litter at the house of his Aunt Karina on September 1992. That was the year my sister was born. You're really close dates right here. Chris and Bob moved from Ruckersville to Chesterfield County. This led to him being separated from Patti for 3 years, as Barbara did not accompany her husband and son, but rather stayed in the Chandler's old home with the pets. Only in early 1996 did Barbara move to Chesterfield along with Patti and the rest of the family's pets. Chris brought Patti back to life in CWCki's Patti Can, which is the one we're going to read next week. A character created by Megan Schroeder to help Chris cope with the loss of his beloved pet, where she somehow gained the ability to walk, talk and apply for welfare in Quickville. Patti was allowed no rest as her soul remains in Chris's fantasy world, alongside a anthropomorphized version of Snoopy, when the animal died over a decade and a half later. According to a video from January 2010, Patti now feasts on human souls, while this may seem to be at odds with the canon of the CWCki comics, it makes perfect sense if you can consider the distinct possibility that Quickville is hell. God, I really hope not. When I go down here when I fucking die, I really hope it's not like Quickville. There is not a single known picture of Patti indoors, suggesting that she'd been left out in her pen in the backyard at all times. She's probably in like an outdoor dog, like a guard dog or something, what they was using her for. According to Chris, her wooden plastic doghouse weighed between 5 to 10 tons, while a normal person may say something like that figuratively. To present the emotional weight it would take to move the home of a deceased pet for the last time, Chris seemed to honestly believe that's how much it weighs. When confronted about his insensitivity, or when someone tried to point out that he has never experienced any substantial hardships, Chris was quick to point out that he has experienced the loss of Patti. Indeed, Patti seems to be the pet Chris was closest to, being one of the only living things he truly loved beyond a sense of obligation. And Bob more or less alienated the rest of Chris's family from him while hiring friends for him in school. So it makes sense that he'd point to Patti's passing as a traumatic experience. So let's have a look at the picture in a minute when the thing loads up. There you go. That's the actual picture. That's a cute dog, to be fair. Like, looks decently healthy, I would assume. Name Patti Chandler. Date of birth 17th of March 1988, as supported by Chris. Date of death 27th of June 2006. Age 18. Fucking hell, I thought dogs only lived to like 13, 15. Jesus, that is old for a dog. I mean, like, with horses live until they're like 30 to 35, I believe. Even though, yeah, we had horses that lived till like older than that, even though it doesn't do their bodies any good being that old, because it basically fucking cripples them. Gender female. Breed Beagle Splits mix. Owners Bob, deceased, Barbara and Chris. So I don't know who looks after, well, to be fair, she's dead now, but I don't know who looks after the pets at the minute, but I think it's friends and family, not Barb, because she's got dementia, so she wouldn't know how to look after anything. Eulogy for Patti, as written by Chris. Here we go. Patti Chandler, 17th of March 1988 to June 27th, 2006. Eulogy written by Chris and Chandler, June 27th, 2006. My family, furry friends, anyone else present, we are gathered here today to pay our last respects and wishes to our dearly beloved Beagle/Spitz Patti, who has departed from our world here on earth to doggy heaven, where she will be happier, because she will run free and play with all the other dogs who are already having fun up there. She will often look down upon her beloved family, me, Chris and Chandler, my mother, Barbara Chandler, and my father, Robert Chandler, and the cats who have grown fond of Patti. We will always remember Patti for all the lovely memories she has shared with me, from when I picked her out of the litter at my Aunt Karina's house in Red Oak, Virginia. Red Oak, that should have a space because it looks like Red Oak in all together like that. The many walks I have shared with her around this neighbourhood, as well as a neighbourhood in the Newburytown subdivision in Richmond, Virginia. The time that I watched my old friend Sarah Hammer take Patti by her front paws and dance a bit, that would have been a sweet moment, to be fair. The times I have watched her stand on her hind legs and then rewarded her with a biscuit bone. The time I took my camera to her pen and took this lovely picture of her and me. I made a big deal how she will grow up to be a movie star one day. The times I have sat with her in the yard, petted her head and given her a belly scratch when I stroked her head with a 5-finger, like I was gently squeezing a rubber ball. That's like scritching someone, that's not petting someone. It's like when you like have you ever tried like grabbing over your head and with your bloody fingers? That's like scritching. It's horrible. That feels horrible. You're supposed to use your palm and go like gently pet. The many times I fed her a can of food and a cup full of dried food, refilled her bucket with fresh water so she can drink and wash her face. How does a dog wash her face? I don't know. There was also the one time I saw her resting on top of her doghouse, not in her bag like Snoopy. I think we had a dog like that, because I climbed on the roof of the doghouse and I'd sleep. I think it was like a Doberman. Yeah, I think it was the Doberman dog that did that. I often wondered why both her ears, one was bent and the other one was straight like an arrowhead. I had a whippet like that. To be fair, like we still have her. It's like got like one straight and one like bent, like crooked for some reason. I don't know what it is. So this is a picture. That's actually a nice picture. I like that one. This is actually a nice one. This is like the only dog that Chris ever cared about and really liked. So it's actually sad what happened to Patti, really. When Patti was brought to the vet that fateful day, I was distraught with fright and concern for her health. I don't think I'll be able to read this bit because this is starting to upset me a little bit. So I'm not gonna read the rest of this eulogy because yeah. Take note that Chris has actually shoehorned sonically into a dog's eulogy. Of course he would. Distressingly, it's also possible that the poor animal died in confusion and panic instead of peace and comfort after Chris left the room. Given her barking, presumably that it happened, that Chris didn't dramatise it for the purpose of the eulogy. Could have been a reaction to Chris leaving her side in her final moments. While it is understandable that Chris couldn't bear to go through with it, Chris leaving the room may have put Patti in a state of shock as she was being put to sleep. To be fair, like if I had like a dog that I really cared about and I had to take it to a vet to put it down, I'd stay with him like until she or he goes to sleep. So I wouldn't leave the room. I'd be strong boy. Current activity. No content with eternity of biscuit bones and belly scratches in doggy heaven. I'm not content. Okay. Patti has actually taken time out of being dead to assure her former master of her peaceful afterlife in a dream. Also, Chris has averted that her vengeful spirit will seek out Alec Benson Leary and his cohorts for allegedly bemarking her memory, and proceeded to, in no particular order, give them nightmares, consume their souls and kill them. Yet, as always, Chris still thinks of himself as a kind-hearted Christian individual. Patti's physical remains rest underneath the 10-ton doghouse in Chandler's backyard. The notion of exhuming and decarcerating her bones has become a popular running joke, among trolls, to the point that Chris, in a September 2010 YouTube video, took the time to fiercely deny any rumours that the corpse of his dog was anywhere except where he had buried it. Ironically, in a video created about a year after that one, Chris pretended, while dressed as a hooker, to dig up Patti and repurpose her as a coat. It seemed that not only Patti is an unholy weapon of soul-sucking revenge, but a snugly warm coat too. The doghouse still stands as of April 2019. There you go. Here it is in 2015. Do we have one 2019 picture? No, we don't. There it is, right there through the bushes. Interesting picture. I don't think the doghouse is there anymore. But yeah, here's some other pictures of the dog. Here's some other little pictures of the dog. Get another one up there like that. There you go. See also all that stuff. Polio or polo. Okay. Yeah. So here's the pictures. Looks kind of sad in that one. Here's another one. There's like an old Polaroid picture. Here's another one. You can tell she's like getting on a bit in that picture. Here's another one. trapped behind the bars. And here's another one of Chris Clan in his Pokemon hat, petting her on the side of the road, which is another nice picture, I think. So there you go. That was the quickie reading for Patti Chandler. To be fair, yeah, he did like about. I don't know why he had to weaponize her like that. Weaponize the dog's corpse. It's a bit fucking nuts thing to do. To be fair. So I'm gonna leave it here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also up there is my information if you want to support the channel. So until then, see you next time.